All right. Welcome back, friends, and thank you for joining us today in this second episode of TWU, True Words Unleashed. If you're looking at the screen right there, this episode is titled Embezzlement, Theft, Laundering. Did Local 258 commit embezzlement, theft, or laundering prior to my administration? You decide, friends. I'm simply going to bring you the evidence, proof, facts, and you decide. Let's begin with a brief description of these three words. All right, you guys, the first one is embezzlement. Refers to obtaining funds legitimately and using them for other purposes, such as criminal activity or other purposes, unintended purposes. All right, you guys? Theft refers to obtaining any property illegally, whether it's a car, shoes, clothes, jewelry, intellectual property, etc. That's theft. Laundering refers to obtaining funds illegally and essentially washing the funds to make them clean so that the funds can be used legitimately out in the open market. That's laundering, hence the word money laundering, cleaning of the money. So now that we have a brief description of those three words, let's keep them in mind throughout this episode, you guys. When I first started my job as the president, the first 2 years I was literally just fighting to keep my job because I kept on being suspended, brought up on charges, and trying to have being removed from my job, right? So what I refer to as my official start date was in February 2020. Why is that? That's because February 2020 is when the TWU International from the East Coast literally handed over to us local 250A and everything that comes with it, along with the bank account, because that's when we were in receivership. You guys remember? When they handed over the bank account had $9,400 in the bank account. Okay. Less than 3 years later, I turn around and I provide more than $500,000 in the bank account. How is this possible, you guys? How is it possible that after 5 or 6 decades of Local 250A being in existence, they hand over a budget in the bank account of $9,400 after 5 or 6 decades of being in existence? And then in less than 3 years, I turn around and provide more than $500,000. How is that possible, you guys? Where did the money go? Where did the money go? Let's do some quick math with real simple numbers to figure out how much money, source of revenue, Local 258 generates on a monthly basis. So allow me to share my screen with you guys quickly. If you look up there on your screen, these are very simple, basic numbers, all right, you guys? It says 2,000 members. If we have 2,000 members, multiply that by $42.31 per paycheck. That's how much union dues we pay. That comes out to $84,620 per paycheck, source of revenue for Local 258. All right. If we multiply that number by 2, if you see my screen there, I have it highlighted. Multiply that by 2, you get $169,240. That's the revenue source for Local 258, approximately on a monthly basis. All right, you guys? Next up, you see 30% highlighted there. 30% is an important number because that's how much we have to give to the international on a monthly basis. Every month, automatically, no matter what we make, we have to give them 30%. So in this figure here, what is 30% of $169,240? Well, that's $50,772. That's how much we give to the TWU International on a monthly basis, as per these numbers and figures here. All right. So when that is taken out, the net figure, if you look way down here at the bottom, is $118,468 that Local 258 works with on a net basis, on a monthly basis. All right, you guys? Stop sharing my screen with you guys right there. Now, according to these simple numbers, Local 258 has an approximate revenue source of $118,468 per month. And in a future episode, you guys, I'm going to break down how that money is actually spent in terms of who gets the money, how do they get the money, how is the money allocated, etc. Right now, we're just focusing on this money coming in. How is it coming in? Now, remember, these numbers are not 100% accurate because of the fact that I have not been in office for the past 3 months and because of the fact that there's always people that are leaving the agency, leaving the membership. There's people passing away. There's new people coming on board. There's people being promoted, people quitting, retiring, etc. So that's why these numbers are not 100% accurate. They're about 95% accurate. If you want 100% accurate numbers, then you have to please ask anyone on the local 250A executive board, because by law, they are legally obligated to receive a monthly financial briefing per month. All right, you guys, I established that as a precedent setting mode of operation in February 2020 so that everybody could understand how the money was working. Now, if you remember in the first episode of True Words Unleashed, I mentioned to you that I had a suspicion that there was something wrong with the funds in Local 250A. And in order to understand what I'm about to explain to you, I need to clear up a misunderstanding. Some of our folks, I've heard them say that we get paid twice a month. That is incorrect, you guys. We do not get paid twice a month. We get paid every 2 weeks. And because we get paid every 2 weeks, that causes us to receive 3 paychecks 2 months out of the year. All right, you guys. Why is that important? Let me share my screen and show you guys why and how that's important. All right. You look right there on the screen there, that's the TWU Constitution, Article 17. We're going to scroll down to Section 3, right there, the highlighted section. It says, effective January 1, 1982, the per capita tax payable for each calendar month by each local to the International Union shall be 30% of the total of dues and agency shop fees received by the local in each such month, and shall be forwarded to the International Secretary Treasurer on or before the 10th day of the following month. I'm going to stop sharing my screen right there with you guys. That's important. Very, very important. We're going to get into that right now. If you guys remember, also in the first episode of TWU True Words Unleashed, I mentioned to you that between my second and third suspension, I was requesting that TWU International leadership come in and initiate proceedings against Local 250A to put us under receivership because Local 250A was so screwed up. So when TWU International leadership stepped in and they took us, put us in receivership, they ordered an internal investigation of the funds, of the money of the treasury of Local 250A. What did they discover in their findings? Check this out, you guys. I'm going to share my screen. This is it right here. Did Local 250A commit embezzlement, theft, or laundering? You decide. Let's check out the facts. What did the international find? Here it is right there on your screen. 8 pages long, and I'm going to go into the important section of it. It's all important, but I'm going to go into one particular part. This is page 1 of the Joseph Lepardo Certified Public Accountant Internal Review. This is the audit of the money of Local 250A. That's page 1 if you want to take a screenshot of it. That's page 2 if you want to take a screenshot of it. This is page 3. Page 4. Now it's page 5 right there. Page 6, go ahead and take a screenshot. Page 7 right there. And finally, page 8 right there. We are going to scroll to page 5, you guys. There it is right there. I'm going to zoom in, make this nice and big so you guys can see it right there. It says, as per the Transport Workers Union of America's Constitution, all locals are required to remit 30% of all member dues to the International on a monthly basis as collected. TWU Local 250A members are paid on a bi-weekly basis. Therefore, there are normally 2 pay periods in a given month. However, for 2 months out of the year, there are 3 pay periods. A review of member dues collected and per capita paid discovered that in a month where there were 3 pay periods, the local was only remitting per capita for 2 of the pay periods. We reviewed years 2017, 2018, and 2019 through June of 2019 and calculated shortages to the International. It was also discovered that a procedural manual was found at the local disclosing that this was the procedure to be followed by the local on a recurring basis. We were unable to determine when this manual was prepared and by who authorized this procedure, and how long this practice has been in place. Damn. Oh my goodness. So somebody in Local 258 made a policy, a procedure, a practice that the local union would follow that said, hey, you guys, whenever there's 3 paychecks in the month, shh, don't say anything. We're going to keep that money. Damn. TWU, True Words Unleashed, with facts, evidence, the certified public accountant report, the financial audit. Wow. Oh my goodness. So, friends, who took the money? That I cannot prove. That I don't have any evidence of. The evidence is simply right there, what I just read to you, that it was occurring. So, who took the money? Where did that third paycheck go? Good question, you guys. I don't know. So that brings me to the original question that we started off with at the beginning of the video clip of this episode. You answer that question, friends. I'm not going to answer it. Did Local 258 commit embezzlement, theft, or laundering? Was there misappropriation of funds? I'm not going to answer that, you guys. I'm simply bringing you the evidence, and I'll let you decide. And if the answer is yes, well, then let me ask you this. Should some of these people be held criminally responsible and criminally accountable for this fact? You decide, you guys. This is my opinion now. I can think of maybe 3 or 4 people on the current executive board at this moment, March 2023, who are on the executive board, who were also on the executive board prior to my administration. So if they knew about it, then they're an accomplice. If they did not know about this practice, well, then they are ignorant of this fact. And friends, remember what I stated last time. Ignorance is the most dangerous weapon against any and every movement, you guys. Lack of information is dangerous and deadly. So if these 3 or 4 people on the current executive board, who were also on the previous executive board, if they knew about this, they're an accomplice. If they did not know about this, then they're ignorant of this fact. And why the heck should we keep ignorance in office? Friends, we are here to get educated. Some of these folks say, I've been here 7 years, 8 years, 10 years. I've been here 15 years. I'm the longest person on the executive board. Really? Well, then tell us where the money went. You were on the executive board. Who was pocketing the money? Mr. or Miss Executive Board member, since you've been here 10, 15, 20 years on the executive board, where did the money go? You can't say that you were ignorant, that you didn't know, because if you didn't know, why the heck are you in office? Why are you not leaving office? Because if you don't know how our money works, and you don't know how the money's coming in, and you don't know how the money is being distributed, what are you doing in office? Why are you in office? I will be able to provide some information in a future episode in terms of why some of these folks are in office. And that'll be in a future episode as well, you guys. And I'll provide it with evidence. I'll back it up with evidence as well. So the information, the evidence, the proof is in your hands, you guys. The question is in your hands. Did Local 258 commit embezzlement, theft, or laundering? Like I said, I'm not going to answer that. And if the answer is yes, then there's a follow-up question to that. Should the people on the current executive board, who were also on the previous executive board, be held criminally responsible, criminally accountable for these facts? On one side, they were either an accomplice if they knew about it, and on the other side, they were ignorant with a lack of education and a lack of information, lack of knowledge if they did not know. Either way, why the heck are they in office? Why are they in office? Why do we want people like that in office, you guys? We are here to get educated. So let us educate ourselves, you guys. 3 simple facts. Number 1, in February 2020, we were handed over the bank account with only $9,400 in the account after 5 or 6 decades of being in existence. Fact number 2, in less than 3 years, I was able to build, provide, acquire more than $500,000, more than $500,000 in less than 3 years. Fact number 3, prior to me being in office, Local 258 was falsely reporting income and somebody was taking that money. Who? That I cannot prove, you guys. I'm sorry. I simply brought you the facts that I have up until this point. So, friends, with that being stated, in the next episode, we're going to break down the pay structure of Local 258. And we have many more fun episodes coming up, you guys, because remember, education is our primary goal. Because ignorance is the most dangerous weapon against any and every movement. The lack of information is deadly. With my last screen here, I am going to share with you the TWU top leadership that you guys had requested in terms of the president, the executive vice president, secretary treasurer, the 2 administrative vice president, and our staff representative. There it is right there on the screen for you to take a screenshot of it and to send them an email and say, hey, Roger Marenco just provided us with these very interesting facts. Can you give us an update as to where the money went? Who took the money? Can you give us any sort of information pertaining to anything? Can you tell us what the status is on the appeals pertaining to Roger's 4th suspension and this phony baloney election that was conducted in December of 2022? So, friends, education, one of our primary goals. Ignorance, the most dangerous weapon against any movement. Stay tuned for the next episode, you guys. As always, stay safe out there.